If your tooling isn't quite ready, and you need parts, and you need more parts than just a few, or if your run is just not that big, look to the experts in low-volume production, three-dimensional services. Whether it's 10, 100, or 1,000 parts, we can meet your needs. And if it's 10,000, we can do that too. Three-dimensional services delivers high-quality parts for short runs, 70% faster than industry standards. Three-dimensional services. Prototype, production, proven.
As manufacturing problem solvers who navigate design complexity and compressed timing, the Three-Dimensional Services Group offers 7 facilities with over 500,000 square feet of dedicated, on-demand manufacturing floor space. Metal or plastic, we support a wide range of industries, from some of the world's best-known companies to startups. With unparalleled investment in leading-edge manufacturing technology and automation to keep all phases of a project in-house.
You've got a business to run, big and heavy products to ship, and customers who need them now. When you've got the right driver and the right equipment, you can bet on a spectacular result. Bennett understands complex logistics and puts the best team, the most time, and the latest technology into every customer relationship. So you can sit back, relax, and enjoy the race. Let us handle the rest.
Together, we can move anything.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Big Machine Spike Coolers TA2 series from Road America in Wisconsin, one of the greatest circuits in the world, I would say. Over 4 miles of absolute electricity and adrenaline throughout it. We've got perfect conditions and we've got the perfect guest here in Adam Andretti to talk us through what should be a fascinating race here. And I've got to ask you the hardest question I know to ask, which is, can you tell me who's going to win this championship at the end of the year?
No, I don't think anyone can. No one has that crystal ball. But I tell you, the youngster Brent Cruz is doing everything he needs to do to keep solidifying this lead. He's already taken the most bonus points that you could take yesterday by sitting on pole for today's race, and we look for great things from Brent on this racetrack here today. Also, you can't count out Rafa Matos, Thomas Merrill, last year's champ. You know, those are the last 2 years of champions right there, and you obviously can't count them out. This is still a lot of racing to go yet in this Big Machine Vodka Spike Coolers TA2 series.
Yeah, no question about it. Rafa Matos definitely got his tail up after the last round. He is definitely sitting pretty in terms of his performance rate as well. But I think this is going to be a tough race because the conditions, new pavement, so new surface, very grippy indeed. But qualifying was kind of messed up a little bit. Austin Green had a problem with his car. He's been pushed to the back. He's right here next to us. But that also meant that a lot of the drivers didn't get as many laps as they wanted.
Yeah, last year's champion, Thomas Merrill, being one of those. I spoke with Mike Hope this morning, and he said just that. We just didn't get our lap. They had pace all weekend long. So you bet that the 26 Bennett Bridgehall car is going to go towards the front. On top of that, you have Connor Zilich, who also experienced some rear end issues. They got those sorted. Expect that silver hair Camaro to be going up front as well. This is going to really fix it to be a cracker here, Johnny.
Yeah, Connor Zilich on the headlines of their press release said it's redemption time for the silver hair team, and I get it. Last question, what's the key to 100 miles around here? How do you have to run the car?
We saw it yesterday. There's not a lot of grip offline here. There is a lot. The new pavement was great, but also it's been rubbered in one spot. So it's going to be really tricky to stay side by side out here today. I look forward to watching Austin Green come from the tail here. I think that's going to be another very exciting person to watch. Adrian Vlastowski, he had power steering issues. There's just so many stories here today. I look forward to them to unfold.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of stories. 100 miles to run. Me and Adam are going to head to the commentary booth. We'll take a short break, and Ben Sissel will be live on the grid after this.
So it's at 11, right?
Lightweighting means reducing mass and consolidating parts. No one tackles these design and tooling challenges better than three-dimensional services. We'll provide flexible tooling solutions, including integrating parts, reducing design complexity, or even design changes. We're the go-to source for rapid manufacturing and low-volume production. Trust three-dimensional services to develop the most efficient approach to meet your lightweighting challenges today. Three-dimensional services. Prototype, production, proven.
We're at a commercial break.
All right, here we are, the Grid Walk Fan Walk here with the Big Machine Vodka Spike Coolers TA2 series. Our youngest in the series this year, Ben Mayer, here with his Gel Blaster Silver Hair Chevy Camaro. You had a great outing with us in Detroit. First time here at Road America. I know you've done the kart track, but how do you describe Road America to your friends?
It's really long track, and they just recently repaved it, so it is really slick off the racing line, and it's not the fastest if you get a little wide, so it's really fun to drive on, and it's my first time here, so it's definitely a new experience.
Nice. Well, I love it. We'll have fun out there, Ben Mayer. Now, talking of the younger drivers and the young guns, we've got Boris Said Jr. here. Careful there, George. With Boris Said Sr. So you guys get together, the two fros. Now, Boris Said, I saw you out there doing a hardship lap this morning, and you're kind of, in my mind, kind of starting from the back of the grid than what we're used to seeing. What's going on?
Well, we had some problems in qualifying. We hoped to get them fixed before, but we got it all fixed now. The crew did an amazing job fixing it up. Some problems with the steering rack and the left A-arm, but it's all good now, so hoping for a good race. Have a lot of people to pass, but I'm really excited. Should be fun.
So, Boris Sr., you were with us yesterday on the podium, a great TA race, but now this is the time you get nervous.
Oh my God, I'm a wreck. Like I love being here with him and doing everything, but watching your kid race is nerve-wracking. I never realized 37 years what I put my wife and mother through, but it's going to be fun. I have a lot of faith in him. He's a good driver. He's got a great team with Nitro Motorsports, and he's got a lot of cars to pass, so hopefully he won't hit the pace car today, because that's the only thing he hasn't hit, but I think he'll have a good race.
Nice. Getting roasted by your dad. All right, have fun out there. Boris Said Jr. We'll come back over here, and I see Doug Peterson getting buckled in. Doug, if you don't mind, I'm going to stick the mic in here. This is the last of our three-dimensional services group kind of triple header here at Road America, and I know you love this circuit.
Sure do. This is an amazing circuit. I've had some great crashes here.
He said it's an amazing circuit. He's had some great crashes here. Green flag drops, Doug. What's your strategy?
Well, trying to move up. I'm a little disappointed with my qualifying, so let's see what happens.
Nice. Says he's going to move up, a little bit disappointed with his qualifying. So we're going to move back to the back of the grid here, George. Walking through tons of cars here at the Trans Am Speed Tour. All fans that want to meet us at the American flag for the Drivers Command, that will be a lot of fun. We're coming back through here. We've got Weisberg here joining us, this beautiful Iron Smoke Distillery. Ty Young right there putting on his helmet. Matt Gray. Doug Winston with Bring Back the Trades is back here with us. So a lot of great drivers. Look at this. We've got three teammates kind of right in a row. But we're going to come back here and start out with our driver's invocation. Adrian Lostowski, I know that he's not happy with this start. We're used to seeing him up near the front. So let's get a quick word from Adrian Lostowski. So as he's signing his autograph, Adrian, you know I like the awkward questions. You've got to be disappointed with your starting order. When the green flag drops, what's your strategy?
I think we'll be definitely moving up to the front, steady, not get into trouble and have a good car at the end. We had a little bit of power steering issue earlier in qualifying, so we went to the back with new tires. So we'll be starting on new tires from the back, fast cars. So we'll towards the end of the race, we expect to be at the front.
Nice. I love it. I love it. Well, I see Bill Knox coming in. Adrian, good luck. Bill Knox is here, Road Race Ministries, to deliver our invocation. If everybody will please take off your hats and bow your heads.
If you'll join me in prayer. Our Heavenly Father, we give you all the praise for this glorious day, Father, and our chance to be at this historic track. Father, we ask for your protection to be upon all these drivers. Keep them all safe. Most of all, keep them smart so we have a good, safe race. Father, we ask that you continue to protect our first responders, our firemen, our policemen. Father, we ask that you bring our military home safely as soon as you can. And all this we ask and pray in your Son's most precious name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you are in for a treat. Anton Pietenpoel, a beautiful national anthem yesterday. I've heard all about you, so I'm so excited that you're here. Beautiful new blue Road America shirt. Anton, take it away.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Wow, Anton, absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much for coming out. Well, Jonathan, Adam, I'm going to send it up to you to go through this huge, extensive grid.
And you're exactly right, Ben. It really is just that, a massive grid for a massive circuit over 4 miles, Road America. And they started back in 55, and we're still going strong in 23. Brent Cruz, though, the youngest man at 15 on the pole. Dylan McAvern, a very, very good driver alongside him for SLR M1 race cars. Then Carson Quapple alongside Rafa Matos, our two-time champion on Road 2. Connor Mosak is back from Xfinity. He's on Road 3. And Jay Bootford, always an Xfinity driver often, but now coming in, of course, for Scott Borchetta and Big Machine Vodka Spike Coolers. Then it's Thomas Merrill, our current champion on Row 4. Caleb Bacon alongside him on the 4th row. Then it's Nathan Hearn of Australia. And Austin Green, well, he's starting at the back because he caused the red flag in qualifying. Mariano Werner starts on row 6 with Darren Mock. Then it's Zilic, who's got some work to do in the number 7 silver hair card from row 7th. And Anciata back with the championship after a weekend away. Sarge, DeLong, Moffitt, Bowes, Prochuk and Bender. That's row 10. As Ben says, a massive grid this that sees Tommy Sheehan down on row 11 with Doug Peterson, the Masters champion. Eric Clayton, Boris Said Jr. Then Ben Mayer, the young 15-year-old. Dickerson, Young, Gallagher, Rumberg, Weisberg on row 15. And then further down, look at this. Gray, Winston, Lostowski with that power steering problem, but got it righted. He'll want to come forward. Nesbitt, Moore, Ut, Evan Slater, Abate sadly not taking part. She was in a big accident earlier in the weekend. She will not be taking part. Roberto Sabato lines up on row 20. So we are ready to go. Anything that stands out to you there, Adam, in that group of the grid?
Also, we're going to be minus Roberto Sabato as well.
Yes.
Through another incident, and Michelle Abate get well soon. She's not quite sure what the extent of her injury is. Nothing serious, but it looks like a lower leg injury to the left foot, somewhere along those lines. Definitely. But get well soon there. And about those wishes for those Scott Borchetta fans out there,
Yeah.
good update on him. He's 15 weeks ago today, and I'm proud to say that just 2 weeks ago, he sent me a video of him walking
great.
on those Evel Knievel injuries of his. And it just shows that these TA2 drivers, they push the limits out here. This sport is still a dangerous sport, but a wonderful sport, and just so proud of the heroes out there that are lining up for us today.
Adam, I've been waxing rhapsodic about this Road America circuit, so why don't you tell the viewers at home what is so important about it as we take a look at it?
Jonathan, to a European, it's got that European feel,
yes.
right? That's why the European race. Well, it's a classic road course. 1955, they've been coming here since. Over 4 miles long, 4.048. Turn 1, really fast, good approach there. Turn 2, not really a turn on the straightaway there, but they counted a turn. Turn 3, down the back straightaway, all the way into turn number 5. That's our Mission Foods turn 5, up the hill to 6. Really tricky braking zone. Optima Batteries turn 8. The carousel, famous. Got to get through the carousel good. That's going to set you up good for the kink. You got to make sure the exit's off there so that you can get into the Bennett Bridge Hall Canada corner, into the 3dimensionalservices.com, turn 14, and you are home free here at Road America.
Yeah, 4 miles of pure adrenaline, a lot of speed too, with those two massive straights. Well, three when you include the front straight, of course. And looking high above it from the drone, which has given us a massively new complexion to watching racing in the last 10 years or so, and less than that, really, to be honest. Adrian Lostowski, a lot of work to do, and he really is in a pinch position here because he knows he shouldn't be there, should he?
Absolutely. Poor guy, I feel like he's the one person that's worse luck than I have. He's been struggling just with that side, right? Just got to get a little bit of luck on his side, and I think there's a lot of good things coming for this group. They fight hard. You get Billy up front there, one of his valued crew members, checking things over, giving it the last once over before it goes off. But you look for him to come up front. Nathan Hearn here, the Australian, he wants to give a special shout out to his cousin down in Australia. Had a karting accident and broke his back, so get well soon down there. But Nathan Hearn, another awesome talent, brilliant talent. I love this head-on shot at this young man, and he will again go to the front. He's going to be patient, I think, in these 100 miles. He's learning what 100 miles is all about here in Trans Am in the United States.
Yeah, he popped out very quickly and was so on it immediately. But every track he goes to is new, and he's just calmed it down a little bit, taken a little bit of that raw edge off, and now he's starting to put some results in, and rather than go for wins, he's going 4 points. And let's see what he comes up with today. Barry Bowes has had a great season, got his first podium. The man from Texas with ASIO data will be on board with him, as we are with the Cube 3, I should say, on board of Nathan Hearn. So we'll have every angle covered for you as much as we can. You can see he's got Thad Moffitt with that famous 43 just in front of him. But while we have a moment, let's head down to the grid again and join Ben for those most famous words.
3 minutes. All right, thank you. Here we are on the grid, the start command. And what we've done is we've kind of assembled a little group here of what I think are the most important people in motorsports, which are the fans. And I love this. We've done this at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. So do you guys like coming out here to Road America?
Yes, love it.
Have you ever done anything like this before?
Not quite like this.
How about you?
Well, she's been to Mid-Ohio. And other than that, this is just a great track. It's wonderful.
Nice. Now, Connor Mosak's dad is here. He's starting out there, I think, 4th or 5th in the number 28. But I will say it's always good luck when the dad delivers the driver command. How are you feeling about there? Do you get nervous before your son races?
Absolutely. Connor's the cool one. I got it turning on here. So we're going to hope the 28 first supply car comes across first, of course.
Nice. And we know Connor's really fast here at Road America, doing really well in the Xfinity Series. Is it fun to see him kind of moving up the ladder the last few years?
It's been great. Yeah, really proud of him. He just handles himself so well, too. So just continue to keep moving up till we get him on Sunday.
Nice. I love it. Now, check this out. We can see who you guys are supporting out there. I love it. Tell us the driver's name that you're out there, because I know Franklin Futrell always puts different drivers in there.
Yeah, so David Dickerson is our driver this weekend, and this is his family.
Nice. Oh, so we've got more family here. So look for David Dickerson to move up through the field. And if you're wondering what his car looks like, just look at their shirts right here. I love it. So thank you so much for coming out. And we've got about a minute. See, look at this. We've got a man here in a Tennessee shirt. I love it. So how are you related to David Dickerson?
He's my dad.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's huge luck to have the child of a driver out there. So where are you guys from? Where do you live? Let's make a David Dickerson fan base here.
We're from Wall, New Jersey.
Nice. From New Jersey. How long has David been racing?
Since I've met him 12 years ago.
Oh, wow. So what's your relationship?
He's my husband.
Oh, my gosh. So look for David Dickerson to move way up through the field. 2 daughters, wife here. So are you happy, or do you get nervous before the races?
I get happy.
She gets happy. I love it. Just like motor. So let's have everybody, come on over here, Dickerson family, gather up here. We are about to deliver the most famous words in motorsports, and in my mind, the most important people in motorsports, the fans. And we've had a ton of fans out here for the Trans Am Speed Tour here at beautiful Road America, and some great races. So are you guys ready to get loud? Super loud? All right, here we go. Fans, to deliver the most famous words in motorsports, take it away.
Drivers, start your engines!
We'll be on board with Rafa Matos in the three-dimensional services group Ford Mustang, the 2-time champion, looking to kind of not resurrect, but certainly put himself into a better position. And certainly in the mid part of this season, starting at mid-Ohio, things are turning around for Rafa and the three-dimensional services group. They had a bit of bad luck at Detroit before that, but he's back and on it for sure, and Rafa loves racing here. 3rd in the championship, 588 at the moment. Best finisher first twice already. And, of course, he's been pole position twice as well. 5 podiums in all. Well, on board with the Cube 3 Ford Mustang of Nathan Hearn, the Australian champion, has really been ripping it up around the circuits of America. We're proud to have him here in the US of A. We'll be on board with him. You also saw earlier that we'll be on board with Barry Bowes as well. And we look forward to what should be a really interesting. There is Barry Bowes' ACO data on board. We're really looking forward to the shots we get from the V-Box. And I just wonder, Adam, when you see the onboards like this, it really does help, doesn't it, from a commentary point of view, because it gives us an insight that you know about, but it gives us an insight, doesn't it?
Absolutely. You know, you get the view from the driver's point of view, obviously, but you can also see what kind of struggles that they're having behind the wheel, whether the chassis handling characteristics of the car, by steering angle, obviously could tell you that, and how much they're having to wrestle with the car. And I can tell you these TA2 cars, they are a handful. No matter what, they're an absolute handful here. This is going to be 100 miles of who could keep it nice and clean and green throughout this race, and it's always important to be at the pointy end of the field, and I think it's going to be utterly important here today.
You know, an interesting factor, and it surprised me, I spoke to Thomas Merrill, and he always is the thinking man's racer, and I always like talking to Thomas, our champion. But everybody's talking about the massive grip from the new surface, the smoothness, and how much the lap records are being plummeted. But Merrill said he wasn't happy with it. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, well, one minute you get a lot of grip, and in other places you don't get as much. And he said, it's almost like relearning the circuit.
Yeah, it's honestly, from talking to some drivers throughout the weekend, I haven't gotten to drive it yet, and then people that have a lot of experience here at Road America have been running like the June sprints, that ran the June sprints here a month ago. This place, when they first repaved it, it was like 4 seconds a lap slower than with the old pavement, and because it was just greasy, it was slippery, it had no grip. Well, now it rubbered in. So if you're offline, Jonathan, even by a fraction of an inch, we saw it in yesterday's TA race and GT races, is it doesn't take much to be offline, and that's the lead changes we saw. Every mistake we saw yesterday from our leaders was just a little bit offline. Yeah. And it was so slippery that they either couldn't get the power down, they couldn't get the car to rotate, whatever the case may be. So I think this is going to be survival of the fittest here, because when you get offline here, it's a lot like a wet racetrack, if you will. I equate it to if it was 4 seconds a lap slower when they first repaved it, being offline is going to cost you 4 seconds.
Obviously, Rafa Matos winning in 2019. Brent Cruz won here in 2022. Sadly, Mike Skeen and Sam Mayer, of course, going on to NASCAR, not here this weekend, but those are the winners in the last 5 years. And just a couple of corners I want to point out to you. We'll be on board with Rafa. We saw we're on board with Austin Green, which is good news, because Austin's got to come from the back. But we should get some great onboards. But corners to watch out for. You've got to watch out for the Bennett's Bridge Hall Canada corner. It's fast and coming into a right-hander. Obviously, the carousel just coming up here under the bridge. But also turn 1 and the Mission Foods turn 5. Those are the corners I would say are the most likely for overtakes and action, under braking. This is that famous carousel. And Ben was telling me that when they first started racing it back in the 50s and 60s, they had to worry about where the oil was sludging all the way to the one side of the car, and they couldn't get the oil in the engines.
That's absolutely right. Actually, I remember going through the Skip Barber Racing School here, and they would have you check your oil pressure on the exit of the carousel.
Wow.
For that very reason. Plus, it was a great training tool for the drivers to get them to realize that checking gauges, on a habitual basis is pretty important, and that just really kind of set you up for it.
Who's impressed you this season of the youngsters?
Well, Brent Cruz. Brent Cruz 100%, and rightfully so. He's an impressive young man all the way around, on and off the racetrack. He's staying humble, which is the biggest challenge, I think, of these young drivers with Brent Cruz and your Connor Zilic, and Austin Green. They're all so humble, and with the talent that they have, they're going to be told throughout their careers how much talent they have. And, it just always encourages them to stay humble because that's what makes them fun to work with. That's what makes them fun to be around. And I think that'll help their careers take to a whole nother level.
Well, you saw how close the championship is. Brent Cruz leading the way. And in terms of the young guns, he's doing that too. Connor Zilic is closest to him. Darren Mock is third. We're on the warm-up lap here and on board with Rafa Matos, our two-time champion. We welcome our viewers from MAV TV live here as we bring you TA2 action from the Big Machine Vodka Spike Coolers TA2 series. We're about to go racing. Brent Cruz in the red and white on the left-hand side of your screen when you see it from the front will lead this field to green. We'll be at the back as well and on board with Austin Green, who spilt some oil down and was pushed to the back because of it. But what a field, what a venue. Here we go racing at Road America. The green flag waves and away we go. Up the hill and over the hill they come. And a good start from Dylan McIvern. They side by side with Brent Cruz, who's getting pressure already. He's got the better line into the first corner, but it's anybody's game. Hearn jigs out to the inside, but it is going to be Brent Cruz who takes the whole shot into the first corner. The Big Machine Vodka Spike Coolers turn 1. Ty Young in the thick of it, in the middle there. Jim Gallagher going through, all jostling for position as they head towards turn 2, but a good clean start.
Very good clean start there, and Dylan McIvern gets shuffled back there a little bit and is dropping through the field here as we're on board with Austin Green being nice and patient, coming up through the field. He's going to go ahead and just ease his way through this field as he goes through, and going to do a nice job from where he's coming from. And he saw a couple of those cars got sucked in by the pit exit there, and I'm lucky that Rafa makes a big move there down and into the inside. And
he could get in trouble for that. Well, he has got in trouble for it on his own.
Kitty litter here, and this is not good news for that. That is damaging to the splitter. Hopefully they could get through that and be okay, but that was an awfully ambitious move down there. Like I said, Jonathan, not a lot of grip offline, and that includes the braking zones.
That's a rare mistake from Rafa so early on, isn't it?
So rare, yeah. It's so incredibly rare, and I feel bad for Carson Wappel too. That young man is a great young talent. Another one that I would like to speak of because his father Travis, another great talent, and we're going to see a little bit of an onboard footage, I think, from Rafa here.
Yeah, I spoke to Carson before the start of the race, and looking forward to it. Just 20 years of age. But let's have a look at what happened again, and Adam, let you lead us through it. See what you see.
So, yeah, on board with Rafa. This is after the braking zone, but it seems like he got in just a little bit too deep there. Saved it out of the tire wall, and thank God for him. So we're gonna get back live here, but kept it clean for that part, and we're going to see it on the outside here.
So Brent Cruz is away.
Brent's taken off, and then, he's down inside. He's going to go inside Merrill there and miss Merrill, but got into the side of Carson Foppel, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Looks like Carson made it through there, though. But, yeah, it's Brent Cruz setting sail and leaving the rest of the field behind here, Jonathan Green.
What kind of condition is Rafa's car going to be in? I mean, he got back on, but, with all that dirt and grime, it's not going to be easy, is it? How long will it take to shake out? There's Ty Young. Boy, if it wasn't for bad luck, Ty wouldn't have any. Ty Young off again, and he's in a precarious position. That could bring out a full course safety, but we'll wait. Here comes Thomas Merrill. He's all over the back of McAvern.
Yeah, and I tell you, Dylan got a nice recovery there because of what happened down there in the Mission Foods Turn 5, the previous lap on lap 1. He got all those positions back that he lost, and now he's sitting in P2 with Thomas Merrill right behind him as we're on board with the Australian star, Nathan Hearns.
Yeah, I'm just also looking at the Argentinian Mario Werner up to 4th place ahead of Jay Buford. Buford having a really good weekend so far. Really impressed with the man replacing Scott Borchetta in the car as we go on board with Hearn. But look at Cruz. He is already cruising. He's got a good lead. But now Merrill goes up to 2nd, past McAvern. And now the race is on, so to speak. Merrill, our current champion. Zilic is coming through too. He was in 7th, just up to 6th place now. So Zilic is on the run. And if you saw him from Detroit, you'll remember that Connor Zilic was just fantastic to watch. Just 16 years of age, probably 17 now. But Connor Zilic, a real sensation in this championship.
For sure. I saw him again right before this race started, and he's looking focused, poised, and I told him, I said, look for you to go to the front, because he had pace all weekend long, even with the rear end that was breaking, and they feel like that was from Mid-Ohio 2 weeks ago when they were trying to bump start him. Remember, he was unable to start at Mid-Ohio, unfortunately, because the thing it wouldn't fire off. So they feel like they did damage to the rear end, and they didn't diagnose it until here after qualifying. So they got it. Now you're going to look for Connor Zilic with this race car to go towards the front. As you said, a really, really outstanding talent that we have in the TA2 series, Big Machine Vodka and Spike Coolers sponsored series. Also, Nathan Hearn, another great talent here, young talent. He's really the future of what Howe is working on right here with their chassis, him developing and trusting in his talents. And we got, that's one of the M1 cars here. That is Carson Quapple there.
Yeah, and it looks as though he's got a broken suspension to the left front there. That could have been part of that incident with Rafa, and it's just come worse. It's Annunziata making his way past Darren Mock, or trying to anyway, as they come back up the hill. Field spreading out, just 2 of the 25, 100-mile race. But right now, Brent Cruz on his way to what has been a sensational season for the young man, who has done everything right so far and has got a massive future ahead of him. Here comes Annunziata. Missed the last race at Mid-Ohio because he was doing the Miata. He's still chasing that championship too, as through goes the 80.
Yeah, and you're going to see a heck of a battle here in the lead. Not far from it. If we're not far from it, if Thomas Merrill keeps up what he's doing, he was 0.7 of a second faster than Brent Cruz on that last lap. Both of them setting their fastest lap of the race, but they are setting their sails from the rest of the field. Nobody else is even in the 214s. They are the only 2 cars that are lapping in the 214 range. So that's right to Mike Cope's plan. He's got 2 Cope cars up front and running really well here since the early running.
Look at Mock and Annunziata. Annunziata got past Mock, but Mock comes back at him. Here's the number 43 of Thad Moffitt, grandson, of course, of Richard Petty, but he doesn't want reminding of that every weekend, I'm sure.
I think he's like all of us, just very proud of his
Who am I
heritage.
telling that to?
Yeah, very proud of his heritage and what he gets to represent out there, and he's doing a great job. And again, on and off the track, you got to really appreciate what Thad does and his efforts there. And he just wants to really start moving, like quit being in the mid-pack battle, and he wants to get to that front battle. And it takes patience in this TA2 series. This
and to be
is
fair,
very,
it's
very
his first
competitive
season.
series. It's his first season. And we watch Darren Mock as we see Ty Young as they're working on his damaged car from his incident, but the Mike Cope guy, Mike Cope Racing Group there. But yeah, it's definitely very, very busy going on here this race so far.
I'll tell you what, Thomas Merrill, a 2:14.2, and so closing that gap on Brent Cruz, and that's going to prove crucial, and there's every chance in this 100 miles in this massive field of a full course safety, and that will change the race. So, Brent Cruz can't count on that. Oh, we've got more drive. Oh, well, that's just Quapple going out of the way. Okay, that's not a problem. McAvern's losing pace, but losing time on Merrill. Here comes Zilic.
The staff here at Road America is amazing. They do these hot tows, they wait for the gaps and they get hooked on and they get the cars off so that we don't lose racing time. If they can do it in a safe manner, they're in great communication with our Chief Steward, David Hoots.
I just saw Rafa Matos.
Right here on the back of Keith Prochuk.
Yeah, he's recovered well, actually, his Rafa. Here he comes down the main straight. He's going to try and make a move on Keith Prochuk to the inside. He'll make that move into turn 1, but Rafa Matos, despite going off at turn 5, has got the car cleaned off And it is Cruz, Merrill, McAvern, Werner, Buford, Zilic, Bacon, Hearn in the top 8, then Mott, Annunziata, Mosak, Bose, Moffitt, Prochuk, Matos in 15th at the moment, but it's still a long way to go. And if I know Rafa, he still thinks he can get to the podium.
Oh, for sure. And I tell you, I'm most impressed with 0 splitter damage. He shoved the nose into that kitty litter at a really high rate of speed. And usually that does splitter damage and all kinds of other things. As you saw, there's another car that couldn't continue that was involved in that in Carson. So it's one of those things where Rafa still, I believe, is going to have to face the Chief Stewards at the end of this race for avoidable contact because of that ambitious move. So he's definitely going to have to gain as much time as he can to try and take as much sting out of that penalty that I'm guessing is going to come his way, considering the consistency. As we got, that's Connor Mosak. He's sitting in the kitty litter. That looks like it's down in the Mission Foods
and he's
turn
stuck.
5.
Look, he can't get out of it.
Yeah, he's buried. So this is a peculiar position. So this is probably not a hot toe opportunity. This is probably the last thing that our leader, Brent Cruz, wanted to see with a 2.5 second lead.
I tell you what, I asked you the question, who you've been impressed with. Oh, 33's gone off as well. That's William Moore in the Hawk Swift Filters car, but he's got it going.
33 of William Moore. William Moore is off, but it looks like he's no worse for the wear, and he'll go ahead and continue. We'll see what they do, what the stewards decide, and what the track crew decides to do with the Connor Mosak car that we have off over there in the kitty litter.
This is the man that's impressed me. He's from Austin, Texas, and Barry Bowe's got a podium at Detroit, and he's just looked so much better since then. He's just got a bit of a skip in his step, so to speak. Zilic on the move, making places up. There's Nathan Hearn. Hearn at the moment trying to make up some more places. Nathan Hearn making his way through this pack, this massive pack. He's got Caleb Bacon in front of him, then Connor Zilic. We're on board with Nathan Hearn. Here comes your leaders.
And back to what you're saying about Barry Bowes, it's BC Race Cars, and Blaze Saida does one of the best jobs engineering and prepping a race car. And so he's doing a great job, and Barry's doing a really nice job stepping up to the plate. And, a person that hasn't made a career out of driving and is here learning, honestly, and getting better each race, it's really impressive to see.
I'm trying to think every time I see Nathan Hearn just what he must be thinking of these tracks. And I've done most of the Australian tracks, and this reminds me a little bit, maybe, I'll see if he'll agree and whether the Australian fans agree. It's a bit like Eastern Creek with those long straights, and I'm sure he's raced there in either 5,000 or in supercars or Trans Am.
And Matos right here down in the Mission Foods turn 5. He's got a sniff of Barry Bowes there, so that looked like that might be his next victim on who he wants to attack. But they're looking like it's a hot toe down there in turn 5, so I stand corrected. I really thought that was in a peculiar enough position that we were going to see them want to try and slow this field down and get that car safely out of there.
Well, Matos is doing what Matos does best, our two-time champion. He's gone from 15th to 12th in a matter of moments. He's now right behind Barry Bowes in the 32. We'll have onboards from both of these cars. Under the speed build bridge.
Yeah, looking at the steering there of Rafa, as we said, he's not fighting the wheel a whole lot. He might, if anything, have a little bit of understeer where you're putting a little bit more input into the front that you want to get the car turned, and that's hurting his exit there, as you can see, compared to Barry Bowes. And some of that might have been a little bit of aero, as tight as he is tucked in behind, as fast as the exit of the carousel is. You're really relying on the front grip to get that thing back down to the apex so you can get a good straight shot down to the kink.
Well, you're watching Trans Am here, and it's Brent Cruz, Thomas Merrill, and Dylan McAvern at the moment. Mario Werner still in 4th place. Jade Buford in 5th. Connor Zilic in 6th. Caleb Bacon in 7th. And Nathan Hearn rounding out the top 8. Into Canada Corner, the Bennett Bridge Hall Canada Corner, as we go back on board with Rafa, who's siding his way through. He's past Barry Bowes now.
And I'll tell you, there's only 3 cars that are in the 2-minute, 12-second bracket, and Rafa Matos is one of them.
Yep.
The other 2 are leaders. That's the top 2 there of Brent Cruz, then Thomas Merrill, who keep on exchanging faster laps than each other. It's kind of a cat and mouse game going on up there up front from the Nitro pilot and the Mike Cope Race Cars pilot. It's really fascinating to watch.
I'd like to see we'd start the Brazilian. Oh, and that's his teammate. That's Austin
Boss
Green.
Man. No, that's Boss
Man. Oh, that's
Man.
Peterson. Yeah,
that's
sorry.
Buck Peterson of Three Dimensional Services Group. He went off track right before the corner named for them, Three Dimensional Services Group turn 14. He went off there in 13, and I believe he might be coming. I saw Austin Green come into the pits early on in the race, so I don't know what kind of
issues. I noticed he was back in 30.
He may have, so unfortunate for that number 89 car. And Austin's such a fine young man, comes from a great family, and I hate to see any kind of struggles like that happen, and always wishing him the best. And he gets to recover next time out. Unfortunately, it's a month away, right, at Nashville, as we see the boss man coming down pit road there, Doug Peterson.
Yeah, and Doug, of course, a former Trans Am champion and Masters leader, so not going to be a great one for him. But Rafa Matos could put a smile on his face if he keeps going on like this. At the moment, he's trying to catch Darren Mock, one of the youngsters that joined the championship recently, and look at him go. Past Caleb Bacon, both of them. Bacon make a mistake there.
Darren Mock has been super impressive, too.
Yeah.
We talk about the progress. You talk about Thad Moffitt's first year in the series. Darren Mock is coming into his second year, and the development we've seen out of this young man has been just beautiful and steady. He gets better each weekend. Now we're getting to tracks he knows from the previous year. So just my hats off to Darren as well, doing a fantastic job, and as they move by Caleb Bacon.
Through the kink they come and down towards the Bennett Bridge Hall Canada corner. Such a crucial corner here. Look at him, side by side. Great racing. Mock gets overtaken as he goes wide, make a slight mistake there, and through goes Matos as well. 6 gone of the 25, and Matos is siding his way through. I think we should start him at the back for every race. It makes it very exciting.
He's definitely, well, he has come from the back here in 2021, if you remember.
Yes, he has.
He drove from the very tail of the field after a qualifying infraction, put him at the tail, and he went from the tail to the front. Probably would have won that race had they ever gotten one caution flag. So definitely Road America is a place that Rafa Matos gets around really well. So he just kind of drives by Thomas Annunziata like he was tied to a post there.
And he makes the pole man from NOLA. Thomas Annunziata looked very slow indeed, although we all know that Thomas Annunziata is far from. But he made it look good there, and through goes Rafa to make another place up. Now up into the top 8 in the 88 three-dimensional services group Ford Mustang.
And he's on the attack to the Australian superstar Nathan Hearn in that Cube 3 Ford Mustang prepared by Stevens Miller Racing there, right up ahead of him. So that's going to be his next attack target, as you see. And Nathan has proven to be one of the more difficult competitors out there to not only race against but to also pass. So he knows how to make a car good wide. As Rafa slips up there, and Thomas is going to capitalize and get underneath.
Yeah,
and then I believe Darren will go ahead and follow through. As Rafa has.
Whoa, Rafa's made a mistake.
I wonder if he's got a tire going down or something, because that was a really, really strange turn of events there.
Yeah, lost a lot of time there, didn't he?
Something seemed a little bit strange, but also we saw it yesterday with Chris Dyson. You could get light under braking in the rear at the top of 6 there. At the top of the hill underneath the bridge, and that might have been what happened, and he just couldn't turn the wheel and ended up having to push him straight.
We're watching Rafa Matos trying to wake his way through, but he made a rare mistake at the top of the hill at 6 after coming under the Corvette bridge. And just a rare mistake. We'll see if we can get an onboard. Adam, I'll get your eagle eye on this, because Rafa having been his teammate, but I'd just be interested to see what you think went wrong. Well,
yeah, I mean, there could be a Marriott, I think. We're going to take a good look of it right here.
Here we are.
It looks like top of the hill braking, just like we said. He was cresting the hill when he got on the brakes, and I think he was trying to make sure that he was trying to outbrake Darren into 6, I would imagine, and just got a little bit too deep on the brakes for where he was. Remember what I was saying, offline here, it is extremely slick. Where the rubber is not laid. It's a good shot right there from the aerial that you can see where the darker rubber is laid there in the Mission Foods Turn 5, as that aerial shot shows. So really, really good stuff there.
Now this is Austin Green. He's been in the wars, going through the kink.
Yeah, I'd be interested to know exactly what happened to Austin Green, what buried him back in the back there and got him, kind of in that area there. But the 87 did retire, so he did a pass-through for start violation, so the number 89 had a start violation.
Well, your wishes are command. Here it is. Austin Green coming on the inside of the 33, and just a little touch there, that's all it was, and that's what caused them both to go round.
Oh, goodness.
So there you go. So no harm, no foul, just a classic off with William Moore and Austin Green, as we go back with Austin Green, who's recovered and now trying to find his way up back through the field again. It's been a tough day so far for Austin. I met his mum today, and his dad David, of course, a famous winner himself. And talking of famous winners, Dylan McAburn's out. What's happened?
No right rear tire.
No
right rear tire.
Gone.
Yeah, it's gone. So something happened there. He lost the right rear, and that's day over, it looks like, for Dylan McAburn. Such a shame. He is awesome. Love Dylan, his father Dave.
Yep.
They're great to be around, and just wish there was some more luck for this young man.
Well, let's have a look at what happened, because obviously he's going to try to nurse it back to the pits, but here he comes down towards 5. Oh yeah, he's already grabbing.
Right there, yeah.
So it's gone down the back straight there at the kick at 4, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that could have been anything. There could have been contact with another car that cut the tire. Even contact can take the valve stem out of the wheel. I've seen that happen and just deflate the tire. So really anything could have happened. It doesn't look like there's any body damage back there from contact. So it could have been just bad luck and picking up some debris out there too, as we're on board here with Nathan Hearn through turn 13. One of my most favorite parts of the track as you approach three-dimensional services group. Turn 14, got to get a good drive out here so you can climb up the hill and attack that Big Machine Vodka Spiked Coolers. Turn 1.
Well, there's the damage to Moore's car with that incident with Austin Green. Just a bit of body damage, no harm, no foul, just a flesh wound, as they say on Monty Python. But Zilich, look at him, all over and pushing hard. Here's Nathan Hearn. He's up to 6th now, is Nathan Hearn. So he really is having a good day so far in the Steven Spiller Racing car. Diving into turn 1, the Big Machine Vodka Spiked Coolers turn 1.
I tell you what, Jade Buford doing a great job at defending against the youngster Connor Zilich. This is for the last podium position here. And what an awesome job for Jade Buford, filling in for Scott Borchetta, as we told you this earlier in the broadcast about Scott's awesome recovery and just his resolve and what he's done to recover from these injuries already, and all the support system at his home and his wife Sandy and all the wonderful things that they're doing there, and to get that man better. And it's just amazing to see. And I know that when this car runs up front, that is like the best medicine for the boss man back home in Nashville, Tennessee.
Now, Jade Buford, had a podium at Detroit, but it was a lucky one because there was an incident right at the end of the race, and he'll take it, and anybody would. But, interesting fellow. I found out this weekend he went to Auburn University, is a rock climber, and this is the best bit, he did American Ninja Warrior. Go figure.
And the man of many talents, and holding a pretty steering wheel is definitely one of them, and I think his favorite one of them all. He puts a lot of effort into driving race cars, and he's doing a heck of a job in this TA2 series, sponsored by Big Machine Vodka Spiked Coolers, his title sponsor in his race car. But we're also seeing, Thomas Merrill is not letting Brent Cruz necessarily go run away and hide. Thomas is still setting a low 212 lap times while Brent Cruz.
Yeah, his last lap time was his fastest. Yeah,
so he's the only one in the 212s is Thomas Merrill, and he's setting the fastest lap of the race right now. So that would, at this moment, give him that omologato watch at the end of this race, which is always a nice prize for anyone that's going to turn the fastest lap.
Zilich still all over Buford, though, as they come out of 14 and up the back hill, and now they've got a chance with the drift, with the slipstream to maybe make a move on Buford. And it looks as though Zilich, he needs, as I said at the top there, they described it as redemption weekend here, because there's bad luck he's had, as Zilich. He had such a good qualifying in Detroit, and it was taken away from him in many ways. And he crashed out in the first race, then won the second, but didn't, so to speak.
And then Mid-Ohio, they didn't even get to take the green flag because of mechanical issues. So, there's a lot of redemption in young Connor Zilich, because they haven't been able to get the results, obviously, because of one thing or another. And, this is our Road Atlanta winner. He's a lot of talent, obviously. He's a consummate front runner in the MX5 Cup Series, which is, again, ultra-competitive series there, road racing series, and those MX5 Cup cars.
Yeah.
So this is really, really fixing to be a great battle between these two. A lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, and hats off to Morris Hull and his wife for taking on the likes of Connor Zilich, still a youngster, and of course Ben Mayer, just 15 years of age, just a little bit younger than Connor Zilich at 16. So we're on board at 6 with Nathan Hearn again. Australian, really, I love this onboard. It really just shows you how much the work is being done inside the cockpit.
Yeah, those are great head-on shots right there again, and you see that he's nice and comfortable and relaxed, staying poised. Let some of this race come to him.
Yep.
It's Nathan Hearn is and speaking of Ben Mayer, the youngster,
yeah,
there we are right there.
I've jinxed him, haven't I? It looks like rear left has got a problem, because it looks like the car's slightly leaning down.
I believe you might be right. Yeah, that would be what it appears. And, hopefully it's just a tire, but it could be something a little bit more serious than that, as you see the right
one thing's for sure,
well cambered as well.
That Camaro's not going very fast.
No, it is not.
That I am sure of. Yeah, so the yellow flag out locally, that's what the white-yellow means.
That looks like Mission Foods turn 5 to here on the race circuit.
And it means that there's going to be a truck trying to pull him off the track to get him out of the way. Oh, he's got it under power, and now he'll just try to, he's going to get out of the way.
Just get across. It's a great escape road. You can actually get right to the paddock right there.
Yeah.
Yep, and he's got a flat left rear tire.
Flat left rear,
yeah. So it might have been, again, you never know. This is the second rear tire that we've lost, so hopefully we're not seeing some sort of a pattern
Well,
here.
I'm just wondering. That's Dylan McAvern now, but it was right rear. This is left
the back
rear.
straightaway as well. You know, one of the higher rated speed in this corner. So, you know, I don't believe we have a tire issue per se. I just think we've seen 2 rear tires go in the same place. It's been a strange coincidence, honestly.
I'm just wondering if we're going to get a full course yellow.
Yeah, we are full course caution here. We've got a double yellow up.
Okay, that changes everything because Brent Cruz's gap of 3 seconds comes to naught. That gives Merrill a chance and Jade Buford and Zilich to get closer. Mariano Werner, really good job so far by Mariano. And I spoke to him earlier in the weekend and he was really happy with the way things were going. A man who's got, 5 national championships in Argentina.
Well, I tell you, this place just got super fast, too. Brent Cruz's last lap, he got in the 211s, and the low 211s, only one sitting in the 211s. And I'm going to tell you, Jade Buford went ahead and set his fastest lap of the race last time around. That battle with Connor Zilich has inspired the both of them as they turn lap times just within hundredths of a second of each other on that last lap as well. So this is really heating up. Restarts are going to be critical here. This is going to be so crucial here. You got to stay in line and toe the line until you pass this start-finish line is the rule in the Big Machine Vodka Spiked Coolers TA2 series. So you're going to have to make sure that you don't make those mistakes. That, mistake, honestly, unfortunately, Austin Green had made and suffered a drive-through penalty and then put him back where he was to get into trouble there with some of with another race car and have even more damage. And we're on board here with Barry Bowes in the Asio Data Chevrolet Camaro.
So we're under caution here at Road America in...
I tell you, there's drivers that were actually looking for this, right? Mariano Werner was 6 seconds behind.
Yep.
Nathan Hearn was 6 seconds behind Mariano Werner. Werner was 3 seconds behind Zilich, looking to just try and make that difference up. So,
and Matos dropped to 9th after that battle with both Mark and Annunziata. But again, a great opportunity for him to come back up again.
Right, it's restarts, right? Restarts are your optimum time. All of motorsports, every driver, every competitor in motorsports just licks their fingertips when it comes to restarts because you're just wanting that opportunity and taking the best. And that's what makes it so interesting, right, is to watch that slicing and dicing and the little bit of the chess game that's going to go on here.
Yeah, I talked to Rafa at the beginning of the weekend and asked him about this particular track. And he was saying, time management, again, key as it always is. And that's really his bet and noir. That's the whole thing with him. If he gets that right, he knows he can win a race if he has tires for the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, there's so many of them out there that are like that, right? Thomas Merrill, you're not going to bet against that guy either, and for having tire life at the end of the race. He's awfully smart, and endurance racing that he's done has only made him better at that task as well. And Brent Cruz, the young man, is become and shown to be brilliant. Shown to be brilliant.
Now listen, Adam, I've been talking about Mariano Werner, and he is the Argentinian. 5 national championships, including Formula Renault. Let's find out what the latest is from him. He's down there with, or his team are down there with Ben Sisson.
Well, thanks, Jonathan. And as you know, we've been watching the YouTube comments. It seems like the whole country of Argentina is watching us. I'm here with Ernie in the Mike Cote pit box. Ernie, what's Mariano saying on the radio? Does he feel comfortable? He's moved his way up to 5th, doing really well.
He's I'm hearing on the radio, sorry. He's okay. He's getting experience on this series, and he's enjoying it very much. So it's the first time we hope we're going to complete the race. He had an incident in the previous race. He couldn't race, so now he's happy that he's going to doing the race, doing pretty good, and hoping we can finish.
Nice. Now, first, as a football fan, I want to say congratulations on the World Cup. Well deserved. But if you can welcome your fan base in Spanish and tell them thanks for joining us here on the live stream, and go Mariano.
Yeah, go Mariano. Vamos Mariano. Saludo muy grande a todos los amigos de Argentina que están mirando y siguiendo desde acá.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Super exciting to have such a superstar here. Adam and Jonathan, back up to you in the booth.
Thank you, Ben. Yeah, he really is popular, but that's the thing. They are mad for sport in Argentina. Just not just soccer, you know. And, of course, the great Manuel Fangio coming from Argentina, one of the greatest of all time when it comes to racing.
The owner I drive for in the TA class, Claudio Burton, is Argentine as well. So I remember him saying in India, we got an Argentine and an Italian. I said, what possibly could go wrong? You know, so yeah, there's some great Argentine flavor here within the Trans Am paddock, and has been for quite some time, like I said, with Claudio Burton.
Yeah, we saw the 11 parked up, John Weisberg, and while we're under caution, they should be able to pick that up.
Yeah, they're gonna get this stuff all cleaned up underneath caution, make sure the track is nice and clear and swept. Like I said, some of the best crew that we get, the safety crew that we have around the country, are located here at Road America. Hats off to all the men and women that not only volunteer their time but do this as their full-time job to keep our safety, the safety of our competitors first and foremost, their own safety, right? This is sometimes, and a lot of times, a thankless job that they come out here and do, and they do a fantastic job at it for us, and a lot of times can be the difference to really save us, you know, and we really appreciate everything that they do as we get on board again with Barry Bowes, looking good there, ready to get this thing going. He's right behind, it looks like Thomas Sheehan there, so it looks like he might have lost some positions and dropped back a little bit there. Yeah, he's dropped back to P16. Right in front of Austin Green. You can see right behind him that carries on that damage from being having that contact earlier with William Moore.
So we're under caution here at Road America. Big Machine, Vodka Spike Coolers, TA2 series, and we're on board with the three-dimensional services Austin Green in the 89. Got damage to the front. I looked out the window of the commentary booth, and there's basically just a bit of fairing coming off the front left of that car, but it's not affecting his actual race pace. But he's had a bit of an up-and-down race. He's behind Barry Bowes at the moment.
Yeah, the thing that concerns you about where that is damaged, unfortunately for Austin, Jonathan Green, is this is like our fastest track we go to.
Yeah.
So the aero inefficiency that he's getting down these long straightaways, the amount of drag that it's creating, his lap times just aren't quite there as far as the pace he needs to like progress really quickly. Or once he gets into the top 10, I think we may see him kind of stall with the progress because of that when he gets into the some of the more competitive cars. So his progress has kind of done quite well. Obviously, as you mentioned, he's up to P17. Obviously, having to go out to the tail almost on two different occasions there. So really, really good work by the youngster there. Also, you got to give a shout out to Thomas Annunziata there, P8, doing a good job, and that was a heck of a battle. You know, they did not, between himself and Darren Mock, did not lay down when the two-time champ of Rafa Matos got around him. They went on the attack right away and came back, and then Rafa has not had an answer for that since.
Well, Annunziata wants a good result here because, remember, in the rookie standings, he's second to Austin Green, and Austin Green struggling at the moment. And so a great opportunity for Thomas, having missed a race last weekend, or 2 weekends ago. Caleb Bacon third in that championship, and Nathan Hearn fourth. That's the battle for the rookies. Then we've got the three-dimensional services triple track challenge, that being led by Brent Cruz, Thomas Merrill second in that one, and Rafa Matos.
We're going to go green.
Here we go. We're going green again. And this is an important restart for Buford and for Nathan Hearn. They all want a piece of it here as we get ready for that restart. Likewise, Rafa Matos will look to try to make up some spots. This is the key to the race here, folks.
And you got to be careful there. You don't want to step out of line. Like I said, you got to toe the line until we get across the finish line there. And so there's a couple that poked out, and that's going to be at the discretion of the chief steward. But this is something that I know David Hoots is really trying to hone down on and to keep our racing clean as Darren Mock
on the inside
to protect his position.
And Annunziata has to go wide. He could lose a place to Rafa.
And he does a great job of kind of shutting the door there. Rafa's going to poke his nose
Rafa's
in there anyway.
Rafa's going to squeeze through at 3.
Yeah, this is the opportunity that you get. These restarts are what it's like, and Rafa's one of the best at those.
Well done to Rafa then. He gets past the youngster Thomas Annunziata, another one of our teenagers here. It really is a cross-section of youth versus experience, and we're on board with one of the most experienced of all, as Rafa won his first race in 2018 to go through on Buford, and that is a great move by Connor Zillage.
Yeah, he just, it looks like he got a really good toe down the back straightaway. You know, I was on the exit of WeatherTech, turn number 3, and just got a great toe all the way down into the Mission Foods turn 5. got down in there, got the braking zone completed, and made it stick. So Connor Zilic into that final podium position and knocks Jade Buford back to P4.
Tell you what, Adam, there's a long way to go in this. It's only 13 in.
This is, right, I know. It's one of those where you don't want it to end. As you see Maurice Hall there,
yep.
He's the silver hair in Silver Hair Racing. The best hair in Trans Am right there.
It certainly does,
Just
yep.
Looking great there. Him and his wife Laura are wonderful people, and it was great to see them this morning as well. And Maurice is recovering quite well. His hip is doing fantastic, and I don't think it's going to be too long before we see him back in the car, which will be fun to watch him and Doug Peterson go after that Masters stuff again.
I love the double entendre of that name. Silver hair.
Yes.
Hairs are fast. He's got silver hair, so he might be a little bit more experienced, but he's still fast.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think you hit the play on words quite perfectly. Thank there,
you,
Jonathan Green.
I know. It's only taken me a few years. Yeah.
But Brett Cruz is doing what Brett Cruz does.
Whoa,
he's
Zilic.
setting sail, and Connor, I tell you, he's
whoa!
And Mariana, they're really getting loose under the braking zone
Argentina
there.
just stood up
yeah,
in unison.
Absolutely. I tell you, that was just an exciting set of corners to watch with like 3 or 4 different drivers. So, and like I said at the beginning of the race, these TA2 drivers, these Big Machine Vodka Spike Coolers TA2 drivers, they lay it all on the line. There's nothing given for free here, and everything is really hard earned.
Nathan Hearn makes his move at turn 1 on Darren Mott.
No, that was Darren Mock going to make a move on Nathan Hearn, and Nathan Hearn was protecting. So Darren is really fired off after this restart.
Yeah, he's trying to get
he's
another go here.
Really, really racy to get around here. As I said, this young man has come a long way in a season and a half of this competition here in this series.
Yeah, he's very quiet. When you speak to him, you wouldn't think he was a racing driver. He's very, very sort of not shy. That's not the right word. He's just very
unassuming.
quiet. Here we go. Yeah, talking of unassuming, there's nothing unassuming about this. Merrill's all over our leader as finally.
I tell you, there's something.
He's making his move.
Brent Cruz, I think, had a slip up somewhere to get Thomas that close.
Yeah. Look at it now.
He had
it's literally
a
wheel to wheel
gap on Thomas Merrill as it came across the line, and then all of a sudden, Thomas was right up on his bumper, just filling the rear view mirror, and you know, Brent stretched that out here again, but and they both have the threat of that youngster of Connor Zilic behind. Like you said, he's got that added little whisper in his ear of redemption that he wants from his previous weekends in this series.
Through the carousel they come. From the drone we can see the gaps as Brent Cruz extends the lead under acceleration through the kink, and he really does have that car dialed in. Look at the lengths he's pulling away on Thomas Merrill down, and now under braking. Thomas Merrill should close that gap just a little. Zilic doing exactly the same on Merrill as they all come in to the Bennett Bridge Hall Canada corner.
Absolutely, I tell you, that's why I think I'm suspect here that Brent had a little bit of a slip up there, either in WeatherTech turn 3, or actually maybe in the Big Machine Vodka Spike Coolers turn 1. But as they're moving through the 3-dimensional service group turn 14 here, as you see Thomas and Uziata, a little bit of damage on the front end. As I said, you want to keep your aero. If there's one place you need to keep your aero nice and clean, it's here. And wow, look at the windshield here of Nathan Hearn.
Well, he went over the dust, or the dust got thrown up on him, and so he can hardly see. He might want to use the wipers, because I don't like the look of that. He is covered in dust.
Yeah, he's opening his visor. Yeah,
he's coming in.
He's coming in the pits. So Nathan Hearn,
what a shame.
He's had himself, I think, an off-course excursion somewhere, and that's caused the Cube 3-4 Mustang to have to come here into the pits.
So Australian fans are down, but Argentinian fans are up. And that's a real shame. He was having a good race up until that point for the Cube 3 team. But, yeah, I mean, he really just couldn't see, could he? So then, it's all happening. Brent Cruz and Thomas Merrill going at it here at Road America. Hearn has retired. Yeah, disappointment then for him, and they'll try to get the Stevens Miller racing car cleaned up as quickly as possible. Let's have a look at what happened, Adam, and I'll let you see it from your eagle eye as always.
Yeah, so, again, these restarts, they can create some chaos. Oh, he drops on the kink. Yeah, wow, he's lucky. Yeah, it drops it on the kink there, and
you don't want to go off.
No, it didn't make any contact, thank God, but that'll mess things up in the front.
Welcome to America.
And
the kink.
Definitely took its toll right there, and you can see how dirty it is up underneath the hood there. They're going to try and blow the brake ductwork out and all that good stuff, but very easy to happen there at the kink. It's happened to the best of them, but it's a shame for them, and I think it might might put an end to their day, unfortunately.
Yep, I think they're going to have to dust that off and maybe a new pair of underwear for Mr. Hearn.
Yeah, I tell you, it wouldn't be the first time the kink has caused that, that kind of laundry for somebody.
Yeah, no kidding. But at the front, it's still just as dramatic. Cruz, Merrill, and Zilic.
As we looked at the Bennett Bridge Hall, Canada corner there, that's where Michelle Abate had her incident. It's one of the fastest points on the racetrack, and it's a great testament to the safety of these cars.
Yeah.
And I know Mike Cope is very proud of the way the car held up in the accident, the safety cell around the driver. And Michelle and the owner of Showtime Motorsports, Ken Thwaites, were boasting the confidence in the build of the chassis and what it did, and why Michelle was able to talk and be, basically not walking, but hobbling away from that one, and so
yeah. And a shout out, she still remains one of our most popular drivers. I'm sure she's watching. We're all right behind you. Get well soon, girl.
Yep, and we thank our builders out there, our car builders, our chassis builders, for keeping us safe and taking that so seriously as they do.
There's that damaged Austin Green car. It doesn't look very nice, but it seems to be pedaling okay. It's got behind Darren Mock. Into turn 3 then, and this is a great battle. Austin Green and the 51 of Darren Mock as they head under the Sajano Bridge and down towards the kink at 4.
I know that there's also going to be a review here for Austin Green. Unfortunately for his contact with William Moore, there'll be an unintentional contact or unavoidable contact. Look at that after the race. So I know Austin's going to have to also, like we talked about, with his teammate Rafa, really try and get up to this field as much as possible to try and limit that possible damage of a penalty post-race.
His mother and sister here watching on as Austin Green goes about his work. His dad works for the safety crew in NASCAR, so he's busy, but he will be at Nashville. The former Xfinity champion, David Green.
And that's the quality family that's around this young man. I had the pleasure of meeting his mother as well, and know David for many, many years. And David raced against my brothers in go-karts back in the 70s. So a lot of family history there as we look at a replay. Oh, no, we're back on board. Sorry, back on board here with Rafa Matos.
So Rafa Matos making his way through. That was a big moment for Rafa as well. Whoa.
Oh. There's a replay here coming down into...
yeah, that was a nice move.
The Mission Foods turn 5. Great move by Austin Green. They're nice and clean. Darren Mock has no choice but to give it up, and then it really kind of leaves the door open for the teammate of Rafa Matos up the hill into turn 6.
Well, it could turn out to be a good day for this team, the Three-Dimensional Services Group. And that is that overtake by Austin Green. So then, back with Rafa Matos. How far can he get? He's behind Mock again. He's already been here once. And as they come out of 14, he's got his chance now for an overtake up the hill.
This seems to be where Rafa's been stuck. He climbed right to that area and then has seemed to have been stuck. Now, Thad Moffitt is the next one on the target there for Austin Green. As you see him in the famous Petty Blue as they went all the way down to pit wall there to protect Darren Mock did. And Rafa's going to try and make it work around the outside.
He does.
Make it work around the outside of Darren Mock, and he's going to try and help protect this position.
Any which way and loose.
Yeah, exactly right. Rafa needs to get a great exit off of here. If he's going to defend this position that he just gained after following Darren for so long, he's going to definitely have to get off of there. And this battle, Mariano Werner here, he's
Vamos!
Yeah, he's on his way. He's sitting there hunting down Jade Buford there in the number 48.
They're cheering him on in Argentina, and we're going to cheer him on. It's a great performance so far by the Argentinian. It's great to have so many different countries represented here, as well as the Americans in the home of American racing that is muscle cars since '66.
And we're here at the National Park of Speed, right? Road America. It's one of the most beautiful grounds you can see from these drone shots. It's absolutely a fantastic place to be. If you've never been to Road America, plan your trip. This is the spot to be to come watch racing. There's all this camping area inside here that you see so many of our campers there. There's a go-kart track you can see right at the bottom of the screen with rental carts and things. Actually, there's a go-kart event going on.
There's a beach over there, look.
This weekend. So it's a lot of fun stuff going on here, and they're always making steady improvements to the place and it's all for the fan experience. So make your way to Road America at some point, race fans. It's a great place to be.
John Weisberg retires with an electrical issue. We saw him parked up during the caution, and it was overheating for Nathan Hearn. No surprise, and probably just a moment where he wants to forget that, going straight off of the kick, flat out at over 160 miles an hour. Not recommended.
No, the kink is a tricky place to get. It's a tricky place when you keep all four on the pavement.
Yeah.
When you go off just a little bit, it's pretty big.
Well, like I said, Thad Moffitt in that 43. It's funny. I had Wally Dollenbach Jr. in the booth a few weeks ago watching your race, and of course he's one of the only guys to carry that 43 of the famous Richard Petty, outside of the family, as it were. And of course Thad is as a grandson, so he gets that right. But it's a bit of a target, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, my brother John was a proud wearer of the 43, and we're looking at Rafa's off, and I think Rafa's day is over.
Well, it was a dramatic day for him, wasn't it?
Well, and I was wondering what was going on because he just lost pace, right? And I don't know if he had an engine that was falling down. He hadn't dug that front end in. It could have just blocked enough of the radiator up or knocked up some of the ductwork. But not a good day for Rafa Matos, and this is a really, really big hit for his championship.
I'm going to say, significantly after the joys and highs of Mid-Ohio. Remember, he equaled the number with Cameron Lawrence of 20 wins in the championship for overall wins.
And then we got here. Is that
Merrill?
Keith? Is that
no,
Keith?
Keith Prochuk.
Yeah, that's Keith.
I just suddenly thought, wow, our top two contenders have gone, but no.
He's got a right front tire down. He's got a right front tire down, and it looks like he's going to go ahead and make his way into the paddock there, so that's going to keep the track clean and green for us. But I thought Rafa was in a really peculiar area, a really bad spot that he was in as well, as far as I think he was on the back straightaway outside of the kink on the way to Canada Corner, and if that was the case, I don't know if that's a good place to get a flat toe, but they will make the decision and they'll make the right one.
I'll tell you what, if I was Connor Zilic and I was Maurice Hull, I would be telling him to just keep it calm, because now, remember, Zilic starting the weekend, 4th in the championship. Rafa Matos is out. McAvern behind him in 5th in the championship is out. Darren Mock is very much in, but this could turn out to be a big weekend. We go back on board with Barry Bowes for Connor Zilic.
I'm going to tell you, that kink is slippery. Watching Barry Bowes go through the kink. Every driver we've seen go through the kink, it is and right here we got Rafa.
There's
so
Rafa,
he's in between, he's between Bennett Bridge Hall, Canada Corner, and turn number 13. That's not exactly the best place, but it looks like they're going to get that done through there. But yeah, it looks just so slick and greasy out there today, Jonathan.
You know what? I think over the weekend we've had several oil spills that were quite big. We had one in the TA race with David Pentarik, and maybe just, the residue is still there. You never know, over the night, a little bit of rain. And maybe, as you quite rightly point out, it may not be as grippy as the rest of the new track is. So we'll see.
Absolutely. And a shout out to Adrian Vlaskowski.
Yes.
This young man started at the back there and has already worked his way up to the top 10 here.
Really good.
Working our, I think, 18th lap or 19th lap of a 25-lap race, and Adrian's done a heck of a job just being patient and working up through this field. He's got himself right behind Darren Mock now, and so he's just about 3 seconds behind Darren. I'm sure trying to get a sniff from this young Darren Mock to try and make that a battle.
And Austin Green up to 7th now.
Yeah, and Austin Green up to 7 here.
Lostowski in the 3, the Hawk Performance number 3. Former runner-up in the production championships in Trans Am, and then went into the big boy TA2, and he's never looked back since. He's always looked good. Took him a year to get used to it, but since then he's been dialed in.
Yeah, he does a really, really good job, and he runs a great business for himself to keep the race team going and to make the best out of this deal. So, yeah, always happy to see Adrian running up front. I love his group of people that he has over there. Billy and Travis have become friends. And so really, really enjoy them being in the paddock, and I think they do a great job at trying to put the best product out there on the racetrack for a Hawk Performance, and Adrian certainly is a great representative for that.
So with 19 laps gone, it's Cruz, Merrill, Zilic, Buford in 4th position, Werner, Annunziata, Green, and Moffitt. That's your top 8 as we get ready for the big grand finale of this race here at Road America.
Some great onboard shots here with Barry Bowes, and seeing him, go to work here in this PC race cars here, the Ocio Data sponsored Chevrolet Camaro, and they're doing a really, really good job. Barry just brings that thing home week in and week out, and that's what you have to do in these TA2 races. If you can just keep yourself clean and bring your car home, bring your ride home, you have a really, really good shot at a top 10 run.
On board again with Ocio Data's Barry Bowes. That's his sponsor. Up the hill he comes, and along that big, long, massive straight here. Past the tower, the commentary position and the checkered flag will be waved very soon in just 5 laps. Flat out at over 162 miles an hour. It's been a busy day for that man. Austin Green, who came right from the very back up to 7th place already. Really impressive.
I tell you, I see a lot of drivers that run with their visors open. And then, you know, Scott Borchetta, when we were at Road Atlanta 2 days before our race and our accident, he hit a turkey. And it came through the windshield.
That's
and,
right.
And he was
not
lucky
funny
that
at
he
all,
had his
actually.
visor shut.
Yeah.
And so I really encourage our drivers to, you know, you can't rely on these windshields. They're a thin piece of plexiglass to keep things behind. Yet the visor for the helmet is a ballistic visor. It'll actually keep objects from coming into your eyes, into your face. So I would encourage all our drivers, even though we're in a, you know, rooftop car with the windshield, you know, that's just really for aero purposes. It's not doing anything to protect you. That helmet is there to protect you. And I encourage all your drivers, if you're in these cars, put those visors down, and that's going to keep your eyes and keep that safety. It's just another added piece of safety for yourself. That's a great shot of the carousel, that aerial shot coming down into the kink here. That's just some of the most exciting sets of corners in all of motorsports.
You're watching the Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli. 20 laps have gone of the 25, and it's Brent Cruz leading the way by some 3 seconds over our champion Thomas Merrill. Zilich having a much better day in the Camaro in 3rd position. Jade Buford in 4th position, and Mario Werner of Argentina rounding out the top 5. Then it's Annunziata and Green. Green doing a great job coming through the field. It's been a dramatic day for the three-dimensional services group. Doug Peterson going off. Austin Green getting into the wars, turning around Mr. Moore. But we haven't seen much of this man because we haven't needed to. But right now, the Franklin Road-sponsored Nitro Motorsports Brent Cruz is flying as he has done all season.
This young man is unreal, Jonathan.
Isn't he?
2-minute 11.199. He is almost a second faster than his nearest competitor there in Thomas Merrill, that last lap alone. So he's got himself out to a near 4-second lead, and he is definitely putting a clinic on. He is looking for that maximum points haul today, and that is dangerous for everyone else in this points championship because he came in with a pretty heady lead and of this point championship. So for him to take get a potential maximum points haul here, you know, pole position, leading most laps, obviously leading a lap, and what's looking to be almost a for sure win here, as the kid just does not put a wheel wrong. He is such a fantastic talent.
And a humble talent, too.
No, yeah, I feel so fortunate for us that we're able to watch him develop.
Well, I'm going to stick my neck out here, and I'm going to say that, you know, you see youngsters like Ross Chastain coming through, and obviously Kyle Larson has done it, but I've got a feeling that you should remember that name, Brent Cruz, because these are the sorts of names that will be up into that rarefied air of NASCAR in the not-too-distant future. A former world kart champion, remember, Brent Cruz, could have gone any way he wanted, but I reckon he's going to make it to NASCAR. That's his ambition. He's already had Hamlin right behind him, and I reckon that we're going to be seeing this guy very soon indeed, and at 18, I reckon he'll be tearing the Xfinity Series apart.
The young man, I mean, yeah, right now the only thing restricting him is age.
Yeah,
that's what's keeping him from any of those NASCAR leagues. It would be his age. So
he wanted to do F4 this year, and he wasn't. He was too young.
He wasn't old enough. Yeah, I mean, I look at him. He could literally do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
You know, the amount of talent he has, the support he has behind him. He can literally go wherever he wants. I mean, the sky is the limit for him. If it's NASCAR, it'll be NASCAR. If it's IndyCar, it'll be IndyCar. Heck, I think if it's Formula One, it would be Formula One.
You know what?
He
and a
definitely
shout out
has that skill
to somebody who doesn't get a lot of credit, his mum.
Yeah.
She's with him every weekend, as you would be with a teenager, but even so, she's right there in his corner. She's that voice of reason that says, you're fine. She doesn't bother him when he's, his stepdad came to Detroit, but his mother has been there pretty much in every race.
Every single one. She is the ultimate support system for that young man, and they have an awesome relationship, and she takes this seriously too. She knows that our sport is a dangerous sport, and she doesn't take that for granted, and she takes the time with her son to let her son know what he means to her, and what he's going out there to do, and what he's getting ready to attack, and Brent takes it serious as well. As you look at the champion there in the Bennett Bridge Hall, number 26 Ford Mustang from Mike Cope Race Cars, he's Thomas Merrill, just, you know, systematic.
Yes.
Just gets the job done week in and week out, and that's what makes him such a tough championship contender. He is always there.
Well, there's an ironic thing there. We talk about mothers. It was actually Thomas's mother that took him round in her Porsche, in a club Porsche at Laguna Seca back in the day, that got him absolutely, he and his brother, into racing. He used to strap himself in the lunch break and go around with her. So Thomas has got his mum to thank as well.
And I think if I remember the story correctly, even when she was pregnant with him, that she was driving around Seca with him. So even as a zygote, I think he was getting the bug planted in his ear on what his career and what his life was going to be. But yeah, no, Thomas is a great professional. He does the job. He's great to be around outside of the car as well, and become a good friend, and he's again, just almost robotic in what he's able to get done, systematic, if you will. And then you got Connor Zillitz, and Jay Buford is showing his head right there on Connor again.
Definitely.
He has not let go of this podium. Jay Buford is hunting, as you can see right there, tightening up as they head into three-dimensional services group turn 14, has tightened up on this number 7, the youngster Connor Zillitz. And I'm telling you, I think Jade has got pace right now. I think Jade has got some race car left, because he did not have to pull through a field like Connor did.
Yeah, you've got to think that Connor's used most of his tires just to get to this position.
I believe so, and I think Jade has kind of got a sniff there as we're lapping lap 22 of 25 laps here. So it's getting down to that crunch time where you really have to start to get in that attack mode.
Well, they've all gone quicker, the leaders.
Red
Cruz and Thomas Merrill.
Yeah, this is the last podium spot here, and Buford is definitely quicker than Zillitz that last lap by almost a second. He went 9/10 of a second on Zillitz that last lap. So Buford definitely has the pace, and I know that would make our boss man Scott Burchetta back home really smile.
Look at all the
debris.
A second podium would be really nice, and there's a lot of debris out there. Merrill tries to avoid it. Here comes Zillitz.
This is that looks like blown tire from our 2 tire failures that we've had back there in that area throughout the race. So I think those might have been just some tire pieces that came off of those tires that we saw come apart there.
Great coverage, really great shot under the Corvette bridge with the flames flying up there, and Jay doing everything in his power to slow down Zillitz. But Zillitz, I remember when he bounced onto the scene at VIR a couple of years ago, stealing the pole from the whole field from nowhere, and from there on in, he's been a regular sharp-end player.
Yeah, he definitely, good memory, Jonathan, because when he came on board there at VIR, he set us on fire by sitting on the pole there. I was in that race, and we were all super impressed with the lap that he put down, and his car placement was so creative, and what he did at that racetrack for that lap was pretty impressive. And he hadn't learned the racecraft quite yet, hadn't got that down for 100 miles yet at that point, but he certainly has learned that and has put himself into great position since then. And there's one of those
we talked about the debris
tires from the 75.
That's Ben Mayer, yeah. That's the teammate, of course, to Connor Zillitz. But that is another tire destroyed. We've had a lot of tires destroyed here at the 4 mile circuit of Road America. This new pavement is great. It's grippy, but it's also really grippy.
Yeah, and again, I haven't seen it obviously no one's pushing the car like he got up front there with Brent Cruz, Thomas Merrill, Connor Zillitz, Jay Buford. And so a lot of the tire failures we've seen, I think, have been from incidental contact or picking something up. I don't think it's obviously anything that has been surface related or Pirelli related per se, as we're back on board here with Austin Green. So
yeah, Austin Green currently in 7th. He's chasing an Annunziata who's in a good battle with Werner, and if that gets any closer, Thomas has just done it. Annunziata has just done his fastest lap at 2:12.1. That could really help Austin Green in the closing stages. We'll stay on board with him and see just ahead of that battle that we're talking about. He's close enough where if they do get into a Barney, as I said yesterday, people like that word, it's a fight. They do get into a good old fisticuffs, then that will play into the hands of Austin Green in the closing stages. We've only got a lap to go after this.
Yeah, he's actually sitting back there just hoping that Mariano Werner and Thomas Annunziata start to get into a little bit of battle, as you said, because that could bring him right into it. And that's not what either of those two want, because Austin's got great racecraft and would definitely start to mix it up, especially as we are on lap 24 of 25 here. And we've got a good race here going between the 48 and the 7 again of Jay Buford and Connor Zillitz. This is going to really go down to the wire, I certainly believe this, between these two competitors.
So then, closing stages, through the carousel they come. It's been one-way traffic for the number 70 of Brent Cruz, and the white flag will be out this next time round to give us that final lap here Merrill, the gap is 6.2 seconds. He'll settle for second, will Merrill, and pick up the points, as will Zilic. Certainly if Zilic can stay where he is, though, doesn't want to give up that third place, because this is an important third place for Zilic. One that will help the championship big time for him. Great result for Buford and great result for Werner and for Annunziata.
I tell you, this is not great news for the rest of the Spike Big Machine Vodka Spike Coolers TA2 class. And the white flag coming out here for Brent Cruz, because Brent Cruz has just put on a clinic here today.
Yeah.
And if this is what we're going to expect the second half of the season out of this young man, that's going to be a hard pill to swallow for the rest of these competitors on if they can catch this kid, because he has taken off in this championship. Shout out to Nick Turner. He does an awesome job there at Nitro Motorsports and putting together that group. And Nick Tucker, and having just a great season all around. But, it's because it takes a whole group. We give the young man a
bit of traffic
so
here for Zilic.
But it takes an absolute whole group. And Zilic caught traffic just maybe at the wrong time here. And I believe, is that William Moore?
Yeah, could well be. And that is not going to help his battle. Whoa!
I saw smoke going up there.
Yes, I did too.
So I have no idea what happened there, but it looked like some contact and something happened.
Yes, whoa! It's Zilic. Zilic has got a wheel gone. He's got his tire wet.
He's got a tire down. Yeah, he's got a tire gone.
Coming into 5, he's burst a tire. Great stuff from our man Lake.
Oh, that's such a shame right there at the end. The young man was on his way to redemption, still in the podium spot, and don't know exactly what happened there with traffic. I don't know if traffic had any involvement with that at all, or if that was just another tire going down. But Jade Buford capitalizes and puts the thing into P3 on this final lap around Road America here.
Seems ironic. We're watching karts in the foreground there as Brent Cruz, a former karter just a year ago. Look at the damage and debris on track.
That's a tire carcass.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And look at it steaming. Yeah, there's going to be some, I think Pirelli are going to be interested to see the analysis of the tires after this race here, because we've had a lot of broken tires that have done it under just literally duration, as it were.
It's all been on that straightaway too. So I don't know if they're catching exit curbing and there's something, maybe some tacking down on the exit curbing that is hitting them, or it could be something along the lines. But I tell you what, who didn't have a tire problem or any problem is this young man coming to the checker, Jonathan Green.
Oh man, Brent does what he does best, and that is Cruz, as Brent Cruz does it. Yet again, this mid-part of the season has totally belonged to this young man, Brent Cruz. He does it again and extends his lead in the championship in 2023. Brent Cruz wins ahead of Thomas Merrill, who settles for second place, our champion. And in third, it's going to be Jade Buford. Mario Werner takes fourth place. Austin Green amazingly gets past Annunziata and makes it up to fifth. What a result by the young man. The 22-year-old Austin Green in the 89 takes fifth, ahead of Annunziata in sixth. Zilic, sadly, going out at the very last moment there while looking at a podium. So big drama all the way through. Rafa Matos out of the race, and so many others as well, including Zilic, and that really is going to shake things up, but it doesn't affect Brent Cruz. He is literally marching on towards his first Trans Am title.
And let's give a shout out to Darren Mock in P7, Thad Moffitt in P8, Adrian Blastowski from all the way in the back up to P9, Barry Bowes cracks another top 10, and another youngster we don't talk a lot about, Parker DeLong.
Yes.
Another great young man, his best finish of the year, almost in the top 10 there in P11. Great job there. Really proud of every one of these competitors today.
Yeah, Parker's going to be happy with that, because he's had a bit of bad luck.
Yeah, that's a heck of a run for that young man, and really good stuff here. What a great day here for the Big Machine Vodka Spike Coolers TA2 series.
Well, 100 miles of pure drama there throughout it. So good. And Brent Cruz deserves the win here. He kept his head, and you'll see when you speak to him, he's just as cool as you make him. Wow, catch your breath, folks. Great stuff. TA2 this season, I said to you at the top of the program who's going to win this series, but it's starting to look a little bit clearer. All right, well, a race that had everything. Let's take a look at some of the highlights of our TA2 race. We got away with a full field of over 33 cars. drama right at the start as Rafa Matos punted off Quibble and Tai Young again in the wall. Rafa sided his way through, first past Prochuk and then a few others, but he would make it up. But then his teammate, Austin Green, coming together with Mr. Moore in the 33. And Rafa Matos continues his run through to the front. Dylan McAvern losing a tyre, as many others did too. Dylan having one of his best qualifyings of the year at the restart after the caution. Again, having to defend Brent Cruz. But then Zilic right at the get-go end for the number 7, and the silver hair, sadly, back to the burrow. Brent Cruz, though, marching on to a brilliant win, his second at Road America. So a race that had everything, no question about it.
Yeah, what an incredible race that we had here today, and Austin Green fighting from the tail up into the top 5 again. I hope nothing happens from the William Moore incident. I hope it's just found as a racing incident, but I know that's got to be wearing in the back of his head if there's a steward's office call coming in his future, and again a rough day for Rafa Matos. But Austin Green carrying the banner for the three-dimensional services group and Peterson Racing here today, getting into that top 5 given his starting position. But again, a great job up there. You know, we got yourself 2 Cope cars there, Jamie and 1-2, so that makes Mike Cope really happy, and Jay Buford there, and Scott Borchetta Racing there taking P3.
Out of the car then comes the young 15-year-old Brent Cruz, and it's a sight we're familiar with seeing here in TA2. He won at Road America last year, and he was just making a name for himself now. Now we kind of expect it. And it's been another very, very impressive performance by this young man, who is going to be a household name in a very short space of time, and it feels great. I love seeing
my goodness, ladies and gentlemen,
before they are.
Another win.
Talking to champions, let's go down to Penn Siskel. He's got Brent Cruz.
Road America. Let's hear it. Brent Cruz, this beautiful Nitro Motorsports Franklin Road apparel. Somebody get this guy some treetop apple juice, because he is worn out. Brent, this has got to feel so good. One of the most difficult tracks. You've been here twice. You might as well win it twice.
Yeah, exactly. I just want to thank the Lord. None of this would be possible without him, especially Nitro, Nick, everybody at this team. To be able to give me a race car like that and just be that good for that long and just keep going faster, it's just amazing. Everybody on this car just worked so hard. I want to thank Ken Twaits, Franklin Road Apparel, everybody at that whole team, and it's just amazing.
Nice, and look at this. Thomas Merrill comes over. Couldn't tell, Thomas, if you were trying to strangle him or congratulate him. I'm not quite sure. But hold on, we've got to talk. Jade Buford, 3rd place, unbelievable. That's got to feel really good.
Yeah, guys worked hard all weekend. We actually had some struggles early on, but we just kept chipping away at it, and we were able to get our Spike Coolers number 48 Mustang into the podium just by trying to play it smart and running a good, clean race.
Nice, congratulations, Jade Buford. Sorry, Logan. Mariano Warner. I would be remiss if I did not bring this up. I was watching the YouTube comments, scrolling through, so many comments in Spanish, so I am pleased to say the Trans Am series now includes South America. Man, say something in Spanish, Espanol, to your fans.
Thank you very much. Congratulations, my Cobb. Thank you, Marcelo Chonero, Alicia, Ernie Gonella, my family, Argentina, Micaela, Salva, Rafa. Un beso grande, muy feliz, una carrera muy dura y bueno, que necesitaba llegar para sumar la primera experiencia con el auto en una carrera tan larga.
Nice, unbelievable. Thank you so much for joining us. Such an honor. Brent Cruz, Thomas Merrill, Jade Buford, unbelievable. Jonathan, Adam, I'm going to send it back up to you. Thank you.
Yeah, an unbelievable weekend for Brent Cruz especially, and there's a confirmation of the results, and what a great day also for Ford. Look at that. Brent Cruz wins. Thomas Merrill is 2nd. Jade Buford is in 3rd. Mariano Werner, speak to his fans, in 4th place. Austin Green is 5th. All right, my thanks to MAV TV. Great to have you on board as we take a look at those results. We'll be back with you next time. And hope you've enjoyed what has been superb racing from Road America. A little further down, Lostowski all the way up to 9th position. Parker DeLong, as Adam pointed out, got a great result in 11th place, one of his best results certainly of the year. Danny Bender in 12th, Tommy Sheehan, Eric Caton in 14th position. David Dickerson, haven't seen him much this season, but he got 15th place. Connor Zilic is, in the end, placed 16th after finishing before the end of the race, sadly. Gray, Nesbitt, and Utt in 19th position. William Moore in 20th after that. To do with Austin Green. Ben Mayer finished with a broken tyre, another one that lost that big tyre going down. Gallagher, Boris Said Jr., Prochuk, Matos, Hearn, Weisberg, all of these guys not finishing the race. Likewise, Doug Peterson. So, what a day, and a lot of attrition as well, as you see down towards the end there. When you see the plus laps, it means that they didn't finish the race. So, all there is left to do is give you a look at the cool move of the race. That, of course, brought to you by Cool Shirt Systems, the cool move of the race. Thad Moffitt looking good in the 43.
He made up 8 spaces, and he put a lot of cool moves to get that many spots up.
No question. So Thad Moffitt then taking the victory in the cool move shirt of the day. And he'll be getting one just like Adam. We'll take a short break, though, from Road America, and it's been a beautiful day here and some fantastic top draw racing. My thanks to Adam Andretti. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back from the Speed Tour after this.
Manufacturing problem solvers who navigate design complexity and compressed timing, the Three-Dimensional Services Group offers 7 facilities and 500,000 square feet of dedicated, on-demand manufacturing floor space. Metal or plastic, we support a wide range of industries, from some of the world's best-known companies to startups, with an unparalleled investment in leading-edge manufacturing technology and automation to keep all phases of a project in-house.
With creative and flexible tooling solutions for a quick turnaround of your product launch, Three-Dimensional Services Group gets things done. We do everything in-house, from reviewing CAD files, design and simulation, machining ideal tooling solutions, laser cutting and metal stamping, complex welded assemblies, as well as injection molding, all to get you parts fast without compromising quality. We take on the most complex jobs and deliver beyond expectations.
You've got a business to run, big and heavy products to ship, and customers who need them now. When you've got the right driver and the right equipment, you can bet on a spectacular result. Bennett understands complex logistics and puts the best team, the most time, and the latest technology into every customer relationship, so you can sit back, relax, and enjoy the race. Let us handle the rest.
Together, we can move anything.